The attorney's business card slid across the hospital table toward me, its gold embossed lettering catching the fluorescent light. My husband Owen's fingers still rested on its edge, his wedding ring glinting. It was the same ring I'd placed there 22 years ago. Divorcing a wife who doesn't work? $1,000 a month alimony sounds fair. Take care, Laura. Owen chuckled, standing beside my hospital bed without having once asked how I was feeling. Beside him, Vanessa wrapped her arm around his waist, wearing the same smug expression I'd seen countless times during our childhood together. Fine. Let's divorce then, I replied so casually that Owen's smile faltered for a moment before he exchanged a triumphant glance with Vanessa. Good thing Owen isn't much of a thinker. It makes my plan easier to execute. My name is Laura. I'm 47, and I'm a children's book illustrator. This is the story of how I rebuilt my life while watching theirs crumble. The betrayal shouldn't have surprised me. The signs had been accumulating for years, starting when Vanessa announced her pregnancy. Owen had transformed overnight. He quit smoking because the smell bothered her. He used vacation days to drive her to medical appointments. He dismissed my concerns as jealousy. Why can't Mitchell take her? I'd asked, referring to Vanessa's husband. She says she's anxious about the checkups, Owen had snapped. I can't just let her go alone. All the more reason for Mitchell to go with her, I'd countered. When you go with her every time, it's almost like you're the father. Owen's eyes had flashed with something I couldn't identify. Jealous you're not going to get pregnant anyway? What's the problem? That had been our first real argument in 18 years of marriage. After Vanessa's daughter Lily was born, Owen spent even more time with them. When Lily turned 6, Owen announced he was attending her kindergarten graduation ceremony because Mitchell can't make it. Later, I discovered the truth during a phone call with Vanessa. Mitchell didn't even know about the ceremony. In fact, Vanessa had been hiding all school events from him while Owen played father at the kindergarten. Over the next few years, Owen and Vanessa began seeing each other more frequently. They went from once a month to 3 times a week. Then one night, Mitchell showed up at our door, his face a mask of controlled pain. "There's something you should see," he said, showing me the GPS history he'd installed in Vanessa's car. It revealed that she had been staying at a hotel 3 times a week. It was always on days she was supposedly out with Owen. "What do you want to do?" I asked, my heart hammering against my ribs as the last threads of denial snapped. "Take justice for what they've done to us," Mitchell replied, his voice steady despite the hurt in his eyes. "I can't forgive them for this betrayal. Neither can I." We started planning in secret. I focused on increasing my income while Mitchell switched to working from home. When Owen and Vanessa went out, he would bring Lily to my house and we'd care for her together. After months of suspicions about Lily's paternity, we discreetly sent a strand of her hair for DNA testing through a private lab Mitchell had contacted. We discovered the shocking truth. Lily was biologically Owen's daughter. Mitchell and I agreed to wait until she was older before taking action, not wanting to hurt an innocent child. But then I was diagnosed with a serious illness requiring long-term hospitalization. When I told Owen, his response was merely, "Period. I'll visit you once in a while." No questions about my condition, no concern, just inconvenience. In reality, he visited once a month, then once every 2 months. And after Lily's 15th birthday, even she became distant, though neither Mitchell nor I could figure out why. Until now. Owen hadn't bothered with preliminaries. No, "How are you feeling?" or "We need to talk." He'd simply thrust the divorce lawyer's business card at me, Vanessa clinging to his arm, both wearing matching expressions of anticipated freedom. My calm acceptance clearly unsettled him. He'd expected tears, pleading, resistance, anything but the quiet agreement that now left him momentarily wrong-footed. After the divorce papers were filed, I immediately set my plan in motion. First, I contacted Mitchell to transfer hospitals. Then I informed my lawyer they would handle all future communications. I told Owen to dispose of my remaining belongings. I wanted nothing they had touched in my new life. Once settled in my new hospital room, my phone lit up with 30 missed calls from Owen. When I finally answered, his panic was palpable. "What the hell is going on?" Owen shouted, a real estate agent's voice audible in the background alongside Vanessa's shrill protests. "What do you mean?" I replied coolly. "It's obviously about the house." "Why do we have to move out?" he demanded. "Because it's my house." Silence. Owen had completely forgotten that the house we'd lived in was a space I'd rented as my workspace when I started freelancing. He had moved in with me because he couldn't afford to live alone. He'd never paid rent or utilities, just some minimal living expenses that didn't cover the actual costs. "George and Lily suddenly disappeared, and our house is being sold. What are we going to do about our new place?" he sputtered. "I don't know, maybe stay in a business hotel for now," I suggested, turning on speakerphone as I continued working on an illustration. "Don't screw with me," Owen yelled, then remembering something, switched to a soothing tone. "Well, whatever. When will you transfer the money? We're running low on cash." "What are you talking about?" "Don't mess around. I told you to pay $11,000, didn't I?" "I don't recall agreeing to that," I responded calmly. His incoherent screaming filled the hospital room. Apparently, he'd been counting on getting money from me and had been spending recklessly. Even with $11,000, how did he plan to survive the rest of the month? "Anyway, we're basically strangers now, so please don't contact me anymore. You'll hear from my lawyer," I said cheerfully. "Lawyer? Hey, wait up!" I hung up without letting him finish. He tried calling back several times, but I ignored him until the calls eventually stopped. Not surprisingly, he also began ignoring calls from my lawyer. A few months later, during a temporary discharge from the hospital, I visited Owen's parents' home. I had called them ahead of time to explain the situation, and they had insisted I come over. When I arrived, Owen and Vanessa were already there, looking small and trembling under his father's stern gaze. "Telling my parents is a low blow," Owen muttered. "I just reported that we got divorced," I replied, earning another glare from Owen. I had always maintained a close relationship with my in-laws, often visiting them even when Owen wasn't around. It felt wrong not to share the details of our divorce. "Is it true you're remarrying Vanessa?" Owen's father asked, his voice tight with disapproval. "Yes, it's true," Owen confirmed. "Vanessa, Lily, and I are going to start over as a family." "What are you talking about? Your only family is Laura," his father said. "She's not my family anymore," Owen replied, making his father frown deeply. Owen handed me a piece of paper, a bill from a nearby luxury hotel. "It's the bill from the hotel we stayed at," he explained, as if it justified everything. His mother gasped. "I didn't raise you to be like this." Owen and Vanessa looked genuinely confused by the reaction. "Why are you so angry?" Vanessa asked. "It's just that the family is changing because I'm getting married. Plus, you'll have a grandchild, a blood-related one. Aren't you happy?" My mother-in-law looked at me in disbelief. She knew I hadn't wanted children but had always treated me as her daughter regardless. "You do want Lily, right?" Vanessa pressed. "It'll be your grandchild, so you'll be happy, right? It's because she's a child I've known since she was little, but half of her blood is from Owen." "Enough already. It's disgusting." Lily, who had been silently playing with her phone in the corner, finally spoke up. "My dad is the only one I consider my father, whether we're related by blood or not. He's the only one." "But you know Owen has always been the one to attend your school events," Vanessa protested. "I heard everything from Dad," Lily continued, her voice steady, "how he was always informed of event dates after they were over, how eventually even the events themselves were kept from him. But Dad always said I was his daughter, so I am his daughter, and I will never be yours." She glared at Vanessa, then sat beside me, her tone softening. "You know, when I found out about this, I thought you would hate me, but Dad said that wasn't the case, so I came here today." I later learned that Mitchell had discovered Owen's school involvement through text messages on Lily's phone when she was younger, messages that mentioned Owen being at events Mitchell knew nothing about. "Lily, I love you so much," I assured her. "You were so kind to visit me every day while I was in the hospital. I was really happy." She hugged me tightly, tears welling in her eyes. Speaking of which, Vanessa, weren't you curious why I wasn't surprised when I found out Lily is Owen's daughter? Aha. Before Vanessa could respond, Mitchell entered the room. I had texted him our location earlier, asking him to join us with any evidence he had. We knew from the start, 10 years ago, actually. Vanessa paled. Oh, and unfortunately, you're not divorced yet, Mitchell added, addressing Owen. The divorce papers are still here. Didn't you notice? Apparently, neither Owen nor Vanessa had bothered to confirm the status of their respective divorces. So Vanessa is still my wife, and Lily is still my daughter, Mitchell stated firmly. Well, not for long, though. What do you mean? A 15-year-old can choose their parent, Vanessa protested. Lily wants to be with me, right? Lily frowned, gripping my hand tighter. Vanessa was speechless. Owen burst into laughter. So that's what it is. You two are together. But too bad. Isn't it impossible to live on Mitchell's salary alone? Can you stop making weird assumptions? I interjected. Also, it seems Mitchell earns double what you think. Vanessa knows about it. It's probably a bluff, Owen scoffed. Besides, it's impossible for you to work while dealing with your illness. You'll just die miserably somewhere. I laughed at his massive misunderstanding. You didn't know about my income, did you? It's probably just a bit more than a part-time job, he sneered. No, it's different. My annual income is $500,000. Owen's eyes and mouth widened in shock. Vanessa stood frozen beside him. In fact, over the past 10 years, I've become a popular children's book author, and my income has skyrocketed from essays, interviews, and the like. Moreover, a film adaptation is planned soon, so my earnings continue to grow. Liar, Owen whispered. I showed Vanessa my bank account screen, which clearly displayed large monthly deposits. She was speechless. Laura, let's, make up, Owen suggested suddenly. What are you saying? Vanessa hissed, furious at his transparent greed. Well, if you want to get married, feel free, I said calmly. Oh, and I'll definitely take the compensation for damages. Ignoring Owen's protests, I took Lily's hand and after saying goodbye to my in-laws, left the house. Owen, who had worked at his father's company, was fired when it was revealed he had been lying about sales calls. His father arranged for him to work on a friend's fishing boat. It was brutal work for someone who preferred indoor comforts. He contacted me several times, but each time I notified my father-in-law and eventually the call stopped. Vanessa lost custody to Mitchell and was divorced. She seemed uninterested in Owen once he couldn't afford luxuries and didn't pursue him. Disowned by her family, she lived alone in a rundown apartment. Having never worked since marriage and always relying on others, she struggled to find full-time employment. Working multiple part-time jobs, she barely covered her living expenses and child support. Our divorce was finalized 6 months after my hospital confrontation with Owen. I received a substantial settlement due to his infidelity and the financial deception he had attempted. After entering high school, Lily worked diligently towards studying abroad at a prestigious university. Her dream is to translate my picture books and share them with children worldwide, which fills me with pride. As for me, my books continue to sell well, with increasing offers for animated adaptations and merchandise. My health is improving, and my doctor recently said I might leave the hospital next year. And one more thing. Mitchell and Lily visit me every day. Mitchell recently proposed to me. After careful consideration, I've decided to accept his proposal. We've signed papers to purchase a house together where we'll live once I'm discharged from the hospital, with Lily joining us during her school breaks. While building this new chapter of my life, I work on my picture books daily, weaving stories for a future that now holds promise again. Before you go, here's a quick bonus for sticking around. If you love learning and growing like I do, you need to try audiobooks. I've got an exclusive deal with Audible. Your first month is completely free. That's access to over 500,000 titles. Zero cost to you. All the details are waiting in the description. Don't miss this one.